Alright, so in this exercise, we're going to add structural columns to our grid. And then after that, we're going to modify them by adjusting their constraint parameters. Okay, so let me just create my structural columns. Okay, so to do that, so let's go to the structure tab. And then you can see here your column. So I'm going to select the column. And here on my properties, I will be using MW wide flange column 250 by 73. This one here. So I'm going to select this. Okay. And then after that, here on our options bar, as you can see, the default setting here is by depth. Okay. So I'm going to change this one. Instead of depth, I want that to be height. Okay. And then the height will going to be until roof. So what will happen, my structural column will start on first floor going to the roof. Okay, so that's what will happen if you select height. So if you are going to select depth here, so what will happen is from your current floor, it will go down. So that's the setup. So if it is depth, current floor going down. So if it is height, current floor going up. Okay, so now, so gonna make that roof. So first floor to the roof. Okay, and then I'm not going to place it. So for the placement here, so I'm gonna select a vertical column. Anyway, that's already selected by default. So I'm now ready to place my column. So I'm going to place that on intersection C1, C2, C3, and C4. There you go. Okay, so modify to terminate. So if I'm going to select all of this, and then I'll select here the selection box, so that's now my column. Okay, so I can select that, and maybe I'll just adjust it. Okay, and then I'll just make it fine, scale 1:100. Okay, there you go. All right, so that's now my column. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate. Okay, so to rotate your column, to modify that, so let's say for example my C4 here. So if you want to rotate your column, you just need to select that, and then after that you just need to press space bar. Okay, space bar, so it will now rotate your column. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these columns. So I'm going to copy this. So I'll just select, and then I'm going to select here copy. So copy that, and I want that to be copy on my grid G. So I'm going to pick the base point here, and then I'm going to put that on my grid G. Okay, so I click that one. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to press escape. So I just need to press escape once. As you can see, they are still selected. So every time I press space bar, so it rotates, right? So you notice, if I press space bar, it rotates. All right. So now I'm going to select again my column. So structure column. So this time I'll be using 250 by 49. So I select this one. Okay, and then here on my options bar, there's also an option here, rotate after placement. Okay, so what will happen is from the word itself, if you check this one, so you will be able to rotate the columns as they are added. Okay, so like for example, I want to put that on D1 here, D1 intersection. So I'm going to pick here, and then as you can see, I can rotate it. So like for example, I want that to be rotated like this. There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to uncheck my rotate after placement, and then I want that to be placed on my E1. So I'm going to press space bar before I place it like this. So I want that to be rotated like this. Okay, and then after that, I'm just going to place it here on my E1 intersection. There you go. Okay. So now another way of placing your column, you can actually automate that. Snap to the intersection. So I'm going to select your column. And then here on my multiple panel, you see there's an option here at grids. Okay. So I'm going to activate at grids here. All right. And then I want that to be placed on my, let's say, D, E, F. So I'm going to pick D, hold control, E, F. And then I want to click my 2 and 3 here. So as you can see, it's now placed there. Okay. So you can also press space bar. See, you can press space bar to rotate it. Okay, so once you're done, so you can now select here, finish. So that's it. Okay, and then I'm going to select here, modify. All right. So I'm just going to copy my E here, my E1, and then copy it here on my F1. Or maybe what I'm gonna do, I'll just create again the column, and then I press space bar. Okay, so I want to place that on E1, F1, intersection, and what else? D4, D4, E4, and F4. Okay, and then after that, I'll just select here, modify. So in 3D view, so let's go to the 3D view and uncheck the section box. So this is now how it looks like. Okay, so these are now my columns. Now what you can do is you can also modify the properties of this. Okay, so you can modify the properties. So let's say I'll just go to my here in the 3D view. So I'm going to select all of this. Okay. And then here on my properties, I can also change here, let's say, the base offset. Okay, so the base offset. So if you want, so I'm just gonna change the view to the front view. So let's say I want my offset here, the base offset, to be go down like 450. So I can do that. So I go to the base offset, and then I'll just type here minus 450. So that's 450 millimeters. So once I select apply, you will notice it will go down. Okay, so let's say for example, the top portion here, you want to go down like minus 150 millimeters. So I can change here the top offset. So like change here and then minus 150. And then you will see once I select apply, it will go down 150 millimeters. Okay. Right. All right. So I'll just go back again to my first floor. And another thing that you can do here is you can also modify the distances. Like for example, I'm going to select my grid D. Okay, you see there's a distance here. So I can change also this distance here. So that's just a temporary dimension. So you can edit that by clicking. And let's say you want that to be 9,150, for example. So I can select or I can press enter for that and it will change. Okay, so basically that's how you place your structural column. So we have learned here how to place it manually, and then how to place it automatically using on grids or at grids option. Okay, and also remember that if you select your column, you can also press the space bar to rotate it. Okay, all right, so that's it for this simple exercise. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.